very much for being here. Um, our goal today is to dazzle you with all the great resources that CORFAC has to offer to our members. And every person in our CORFAC offices has the benefits of that we're going to share with you today. And please ask questions, stop us, put things in the chat, whatever you're more comfortable doing. We want to hear from you. We don't think as a staff that it'll take a long time to present what we want to present. So we should have plenty of time to answer any questions. So for those, the first part of this presentation is going to be more an overview of CORFAC and who we are and what we do, because I know we have some new people on this. And then the last part's going to dive in a little bit more into the resources and the new website and info hub and database and all that stuff. So, but you know, you're part of something bigger here. I mean, all of your firms have decided to become part of CORFAC. Some have been around since the beginning, some have joined recently. And one thing I always like to say is so Jennifer, Diane, and I have been here at CORFAC for 11 years. And one of the first things I ever heard someone say to me when I started was, use CORFAC like your board of directors, meaning you can reach out to any CORFAC member at any time. You can send notes to all CORFAC members. You can now put stuff into the different forums on the new website, which Jennifer and Diane will explain a little bit later, but use it like your board of directors and know that you're going to get answers from other CORFAC members in a short period of time. Diane, if you want to flip. This is just an example of where we are today. 75 firms around the world. We're growing. We've added 6 new firms this year. We're having active conversations with another 4 or 5 at the moment. So it's exciting. And this is who we are. It's people like you on the call today, all over the world. 800 members within those 75 offices. Our members are very well designated, so to speak. The roots of CORFAC are in SIOR. 38 years ago, there was a small group sitting around an SIOR conference and said, you know what, there's room for another independent commercial real estate network. And here we are 37 years ago with boots on the ground in lots of different areas. We always like to show this, and this isn't our complete strategic plan, but this is the vision, the mission, and the value of what we stand for as a staff in an organization every year, or every day, I should say. And this was redone about 2 years ago when Hayam Mizrahi was president. And I just want you to know that the main things that came out of this new strategic plan were, how can we do a better job of branding the organization? And Jennifer is going to touch on that later in the presentation. How can we create better business development opportunities for our network? Not only between CORFAC to CORFAC, but working with other people outside the network, be it developers, etc. And I'd say most importantly, and for you who were in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago for our spring conference, it's the sharing of best practices. And those were the 3 things that Hayam, as president, and the leadership wanted to focus on with the new strategic plan. I'm not going to list all these. I mean, this is what our organization does throughout our firms. We were, as I said earlier, we were founded, our roots were in SIOR. So obviously early on, it was more of a focus on office and industrial, but we've expanded in so many different areas on the retail side, development side, land, property management, etc. These are numbers that are from last year of what happens through the network in terms of transaction volume, number of deals, and closed deals. Um, Melinda says, can I turn up the volume? Is everybody else having a problem hearing me? No? I will try to project a little better, Melinda. How's that? So if you had looked at this pie chart um, 10 years ago, it probably would have been more 50% industrial, um, a little more on the office side. And as I mentioned a minute ago, we're getting more firms that do more stuff. Um, I think this slide is very important. It talks about how long we've been around. It talks about the fact that, when you do a deal with a CORFAC firm, you're typically dealing with the principals and the decision makers in those firms. People join CORFAC because they want to maintain independence. They want to keep their company name. And when you talk to your clients, these are really important things to mention that you know we've got connections around the world. And one of the other things I heard early on when I started was ask the question, meaning when you're talking to a client, say, hey, I've got a guy. For those of you who are in New Orleans, you remember I have a guy. I have a guy in Chicago. I have a guy in Los Angeles. I have a woman in London who can help you out. So that's one of the main values of the organization, and knowing that that client will get similar service that you provide elsewhere in the world. Just an example of some of the companies that our firms have done business with over the years. And we are able to, and Jennifer and Diane will get into this a little later, but we are able to collect this type of information based on what you folks put into the system in terms of deals and clients that you're dealing with. We thought this was important, for those out there who think we've got a great big staff. We don't. We like to say we're small and mighty. Jennifer and I are full time. Diane and Amy are part time. Between us all, we've been doing this in the association not for profit world for 100 plus years. Um, I hate to say most of that's on me. Uh, and we've been involved in commercial real estate associations for a majority of that time. So we spin a lot of plates. We do a lot of stuff. You can see the second bullet there about the type of things we do, and we'll talk about a little bit about that in a minute. Um, but yeah, we kind of operate 24/7, meaning if you got a question, one of our newest firms in Sarasota called me this morning and they were like, "Is it okay that we're calling you?" I said, "Absolutely. You can call us anytime. We're here to help." And he had called because he had a requirement, a retail requirement, and he wanted some advice and expertise from someone who had done something, a conversion of an existing property to another service. And I connected him up. And anyway, we're always here. We're always want to lend a hand. And uh, anyway, and this is kind of a snapshot of some of the things we're doing right now. For those of you who were at the spring conference in New Orleans, we spent a lot of time networking, talking business, sharing best practices. I think the middle bullet here is very important. One of the things that came out of our strategic plan a couple of years ago and our marketing task force last year was creating formal, bigger developers. And you can see in the middle here, we've done a good job of that so far, and that will continue to increase. And then I think the last slide or the last bullet's very important because these are the type of discounts that we've been able to put together. So you as a CORFAC member, you could say, hey, I'm a CORFAC member. I get X amount off the build out product, or I want to take a CCIM course. I think it's 10 or 15% off the 101 course. So we put together a lot of these type of things, and they're available to you as members. I will turn it over to Jennifer now, and I will stop talking for now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Norbit, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer for the CORFAC headquarters office. And I work day to day with Jonathan, Diane, and Amy, our marketing engagement manager. Um, a couple of additional benefits that we think are really important and we see a lot of value among the members are our investment in our next generation of agents and brokers. We offer scholarships for attendance at our spring and fall conferences, and we also have a mentoring program that is new and growing, and these offer a great opportunity for people who are young in their career or young professionals to engage more in depth with the market, or sorry, with CORFAC and in the marketplace. So please take advantage of those. They're great resources, and there's no cost for the mentoring program. I'm going to turn over to Diane for a short review of our listings, closed transactions, and community benefits.
Hi, I'm Diane Harris. I'm the Director of Meetings and Membership, and we have a couple added values, some added values that we've recently expanded upon. One is Build Out Sync. It's a property listing platform, which I will show you briefly later. And then we also recently added Compfolio, which is a transaction module. We're requesting all offices upload their transactions to this. It'll serve as sort of a white pages or yellow pages for members and brokers in the network. And then we also have an online community, which is a forum to chat and connect amongst our members, and we'll give you a glimpse of that later as well.
I'm going to jump back in and mention something. I'm going to just add to what Jonathan said earlier about CORFAC's brand awareness initiatives and our recent marketing task force. One of our goals as a network is to expand the CORFAC brand so that you walk into a meeting and the people on the other side of the table know what the CORFAC network is. It's recognized as a household name in the industry, and the value associated with that is transparent. So we spend a lot of time and energy on branding, marketing, and we utilize an external public relations consultant to help carry out this mission as well. And I'm just going to share a couple of highlights and ways that we do that. We work extensively to get CORFAC's name out there as a thought leader in the industry. So oftentimes our public relations director will reach out to you looking for input on articles and initiatives that we're doing to help build the brand in that regard. You can just see some highlights here about where we're getting traction and some of the strategies we use. Again, we utilize social media to help with brand awareness. One of the key channels is LinkedIn for us. And here's just a sampling of the ways that we're using LinkedIn and the other channels. We frequently reach out and ask if we've highlighted a firm to share and engage. So please make sure that's top of mind for you when you're looking at your social channels. Here are a couple of examples of CORFAC's experts that are featured in different industry publications. This is something that we put a great deal of time and energy into as well, and these are our trade show initiatives. Jonathan is usually the person who's attending and the sort of the brand ambassador at our shows. He sees a lot of our members there. As you can see, we've got a great number of members who attend the various industry events, and this is a great recruiting ground for new firms to join CORFAC, as well as for existing members to connect and really reach out to the target audiences that we're trying to reach as a network to elevate the CORFAC brand. Is there anything, Jonathan, you want to add on that?
I mean, the only thing I would add is we're doing a new conference in about 2 weeks in Costa Rica. No, I am not going to that one. And it was recommended by our firm in Costa Rica, and we hope that it's going to help us expand our presence and our brand, and hopefully some new firms in Latin America.
Diane mentioned earlier, and I just want to share a slide or two here about CORFAC implemented a new suite of technology late last year. And so it's been sort of a rolling process. We're implementing things incrementally, but we have a new website which has some nice new features that are listed here. Diane will briefly show one of them that's a great traffic driver for us, which is the build out sync listings integration. We've also got a blog and a great a member directory that we're working to expand a little bit. Um, so that's new. We've got a new info hub, which is the member side. It's not public, and the info hub is for members only, and it's got an adjacent community that's online where members can interact and pose questions and use it as a sounding board for industry topics. We do have a couple other things coming soon. We've got a member app that we'll be rolling out, and then a haves once marketplace for sharing investment sales opportunities. And those are coming soon. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jonathan to kind of just recap our presentation.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and go down these one by one, but you know, as you all know, no matter what it is in life, you kind of get out of it what you put into it. And for those who were at the spring conference a little while ago in New Orleans, I think you would agree that that was a great program on a lot of different levels. We will continue to do programs, best practice sessions between our conferences. We try to do a Zoom program at least once a month. I mentioned earlier, when you're talking to clients, ask them how CORFAC can help them in other markets. We are all over the place. Make sure the majority of CORFAC firms are doing a really good job with branding, and a lot of that, thank you to the marketing and branding committee and the subcommittee for pushing that along and getting all the marketing folks to push that internally within their offices. And as I said earlier, I gave the example of the newest firm in Sarasota calling me this morning. That goes for any of you on this call. Email, call, text, whatever, and let us know how we can help you out. I know it's what we're presenting here is a lot to absorb, but it's all at the end of the day, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, we just wanted to touch briefly on our conferences. We do two conferences a year, one in the February or March, and then one in September. And it's a great opportunity to participate in all the things that are wonderful about CORFAC. It's best practices, it's connecting, it's meeting other practitioners in the network or other broker support or marketing or next gen folks. It's just a great way to network and make other offices aware of your office. We have, as Jennifer mentioned, we have scholarships for next gen attendees. And we also have a program for marketing broker support staff to attend at reduced prices. So our registration for our Chicago meeting will open in July. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us about that. It's always a good time. I'm going to pick on the Subelbein Company / CORFAC International. They're great. They have a sales contest, basically, and the top producers from their offices, the reward is that they get to attend the CORFAC conference, the next CORFAC conference. And I think that's a great idea.
So are we going to go back and dive into a little more into the info hub or any of that, or are we good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
Yes, we are, but maybe ask if anybody has any questions about what we've presented so far.
Any questions? Make it live, make it via chat, however you're more comfortable. I know we're throwing a lot at you, and often when we do these programs, firms will send us emails and say, "Hey, that was great," and Diane will do special one-on-ones with members or um, back one-on-one for several members within firms. So know that we're available to do that. And just to let you know, with this new system, the only way you can access it is by creating a new profile. And I think we are about a third of the way of our 800 some odd members doing that. And some might say that's good, some might say it's not so good, but we've got about 250 that have done it. But we think because of presentations like this and more promotion we're going to do, that within the next 6 to 8 weeks, we will at least double that number. But we need your help to make everybody know in your firms that they need to create a new profile, and Diane will tell you how to do that.
Sure. Let me do a screen share here. First, I just want to point out that, as Jennifer said, we have been rolling out some new things here at CORFAC, and one of them is our website, which is very, obvious and user-friendly here. I encourage you to explore it. We mentioned earlier the property listings, which is a free benefit to you. It's powered by Build Out. And every firm has access to this. And there should have been a welcome email to each office probably has an admin or a gatekeeper, so to speak, that has access to this and can upload properties. If you don't know who that is, or if that hasn't been set up from your office and you're not participating, feel free to reach out to me. I can double check in our system here, see what's going on, get some welcome letters out to you, or get you connected with the person in your office that's doing that. Again, just some really great basic stuff in here. I encourage you to explore it. But, up here in the corner, you'll see a link for the member login, and that is to the info hub, which Jennifer mentioned. And if you have problems getting into the info hub, it's probably because you haven't set up an account yet. Most of the errors that people receive trying to set this up is because they're trying to use login information from our old site. And because this is a new, more secure login process, you have to start from the beginning, and our system recognizes people by their email addresses. But feel free to shoot me a note. I can get you set up or see what's going on from behind the scenes here, because I know it's sometimes there are quirks in the system. But this is the member info hub. And as Jonathan mentioned, we really encourage everybody, and I encourage the admins and principals from your office to suggest that your staff go in and set up your profiles. And it's a variety of reasons. The profiles pull one to our directory on our website. And if you do a general Google search of your office or your name, you will find that CORFAC is one of the top responses to the lookup of your name. So if somebody has met you somewhere, or know you're a broker, or know you're in marketing, or want to find out more information about you, you're going to want a complete bio. You're going to want your photo on there, your designations, your area of specialization. That will pull from what you set up in here. The other thing that it'll pull from is if you go to the website and hit the directory, you'll see little boxes for area of specialization. And if I'm looking for somebody in industrial or multifamily, I'm going to click that box, and only the people that have come in here and updated their information with their area of specialization right here, you'll see that is where you can edit and add that in. And you will only show up on that part of the website if you have gone in and selected what your area of specialization is. Same with designations. as Jonathan said, people, call us, they ask for things. I'll get notes now and then. Hey, how many CCIMs do we have in the network? And I'll go in and pull a report and send that list to someone because they're looking to send business or they are wanting it for various reasons. Well, if you haven't put your designations into the system, you won't get pulled in that report. The other thing in here that's great is there's a directory listing. There's a section for events. And you'll see that it lists all of our information in here, including past conferences. And I just wanted to show, I don't know if people are aware of this, but when you register for a conference, and you click on that information, you can update your registration here, get a receipt for tax purposes. It lists a schedule, it lists who the sponsors are. And then my favorite part is if you want to be a busybody and see who is attending the meeting, actually it's not listing it for me because I'm a staff person, but at the bottom here would be a list of everybody that is attending the conference. So it gives you an opportunity to plan ahead and decide who you are going to network with. We have a resources tab, and all things CORFAC are in here. So Jennifer mentioned branding. We have copies of logos, our branding guidelines. We have conference materials that are in here from all of our past conferences, which is a great resource, different topics in there for different sessions.
Hey, Diane,
yeah.
Diane, Melinda in Atlanta has a question. She says, when creating new logins and profiles, will that auto-populate to the membership directory?
Yeah, so our system is created so that individual offices cannot add and delete people. You have to send a note to CORFAC headquarters to do that. And our selfish reason for that is that we have a pristine, clean, fabulous looking directory. There's not a Mike Smith and a Michael Smith. There's no duplicates. It allows us to make sure everything looks perfect. So it's a little bit of an inconvenience for folks, but most of our offices are aware of that. So if Melinda sends me a note and says, I'd like to add this person to the as a employee of King Industrial and Atlanta, I will go into her record. I will go into King Industrial and I'll add those employees and they will load on the directory page for King Industrial here.
And she had a follow-up question. So what about updating designations?
So the Info Hub is like LinkedIn. You need to go into your profile and you need to update your information. Your spouse isn't going into LinkedIn for you. Your boss isn't going into LinkedIn for you and updating your information. And our system is the same way. You need to log in. You have to put in what your designations are. We can do some of that from behind the scenes. And Amy and I will be in the process of reaching out to offices to get that accomplished. We will not be efficient in doing all 800 to 1,000 people that are in the database, adding designations, because sometimes we're not aware. Maybe you've gotten a designation or it's not listed on your company website. So we really encourage people to go in and put their area of specialization in and put in their designation. If you have a designation that you don't see listed there, shoot us a note. We can add it to the designation list. The build out resources are in here. That'll tell you how to put properties on that page. Next gen training resources. Jennifer mentioned that we have a great program for next gens. We did a session in our spring conference in Los Angeles. Huge amount of information on hiring, retaining, benchmarks, all checklists, all kinds of great information in there for mentoring and working with next gens. Social media resources, and then I I'm going to show this really quickly and then we'll talk about community, but the Deal Central or the Compfolio platform is the area where we are asking offices to enter their transactions. And this tab has support information for doing that. Does anybody have any questions about that so far before I go to the transactions module? Great. And I can even come back to any questions. But this is our this is Compfolio, and this is what you will see when you log into the Compfolio deal-making transaction database. And it's very user-friendly. It's, you know, this is only as good as all the information that you folks put in here. But I'm going to just show you an example of if you're, you know, I'm a big fan of pizza. So I'm going to go ahead and look up all the deals related to pizza. And this is just shows you all of the transactions that have been done in the CORFAC network that have been entered in the system, because I'm going to guess there are a lot more pizza deals than just this. But it shows you all the locations. And look at this one is in my neck of the woods. So I'm going to click on that. And it looks like our Darwin office, it looks like Rick at the Darwin office did a deal with Nation's Pizza in Schaumburg. So I think I'm going to give him a call and ask him if that pizza is any good. But, you know, I'm making fun here, but it's just an example of how this can be used to look up companies that you've done business with, that you'd like to do business with. I know some people, before they go to a pitch meeting, will come in here and look and see if anyone else in the network has worked with that company in other markets. There's all different ways that this can be used, can be useful for you. And the thing that's wonderful about this system is it allows bulk imports. And I know Jason Price at our CPI office in Tempe did a bulk import of all transactions that they did in 2025, and they uploaded it up into the system. And there's a Excel document that you need to adapt to get that done, but we're hoping that that will make it much easier for folks to do that. And every office has access to this. It is free as part of your CORFAC membership. And this is an example. So I'm an admin, so this is my admin page, but it shows all the employees at CORFAC that have access to this. And you can designate somebody in your office that could be the admin. We're happy to arrange that for you. And then that admin can add additional people to the team. And it sends a little invite to people to the team. So you can have people that are admin that are actually doing the importing of data. And then you can have people, everybody in your office has access to it to just look up information just as a resource for them. And both Build Out and Compfolio have a terrific customer support group that answer. It's mostly through email, but they are terrific at following up. It's always within just a couple hours or less. They're happy to help you out. They're really great. And then does anybody have any questions about that?
Got a couple more that came in through the chat.
Okay.
Michelle asked, is the Excel document for uploading bulk deals available now?
I am in the process of getting that posted to the resource section of the info hub, but I believe the configuration of it, there's a link to it, I believe, in the guide. We have a Compfolio user guide in there as well.
And then Melinda had a question about who else does Confolio share these deals with, or is it closed to CORFAC members?
That is an excellent question. She's a smart lady. So this is closed. This is only for the CORFAC network. The property listing over on our website, that is available to the public. Our property listing is, because this is accessible on our website. The Compfolio, so I know that some people are sensitive about some of the deals that they put in. You could just put the name of the company and the broker that worked on it. So that if I'm wanting to work with that company, I see the broker that worked on, I reach out to them. Hey, I saw that you did a deal with a pizza shop. I'd like more information about that. Can we chat? So that you don't have to put confidential information in there.
And just to piggyback, and at the risk of making a duh statement, the information on one of the earlier slides, which showed the total amount of deals done in the network, the volume, etc. The only way we get those numbers is by everybody putting their numbers in the system. And well, I don't think I need to say anything more.
Any other questions? Okay, great. And then one other thing before I put this as appropriate timing here, before I pass this on. The CORFAC community has different areas and chat groups and things that you can participate in. The only way you are populated to participate in those is by selecting your area of specialization. Otherwise, you'll log into community and go, oh, there's nothing in here. Well, that's because you have to opt in to what you want to participate in community.
And
Jennifer, anything to add?
Yep.
Or you?
She's going to share her screen
no,
share.
let me just toggle over to that.
We must be dazzling you, because pretty much everybody that started is still here. You really don't have anything better to do. Anyway.
Okay, hopefully that is sharing the right way. So Diane mentioned the CORFAC community. This is a new feature that we implemented last fall with the Info Hub, the new website, and then there's this third piece called the CORFAC community. It's really meant to be a place to share resources, share ideas, and connect with other members in the network. There's a central feed like you see here. Phil Tomlinson posted a question, and members um, who have profiles in the community are able to engage, like, share, add files to this. So it's very straightforward and similar to what you do on other platforms. We talked about the specialty groups. We do have specialty groups here where members can connect. So our marketing subcommittee has quite a few members that have joined the committee, I'm sorry, joined the group, but there aren't any discussions as of yet. But yeah, this is a great way to start a conversation and connect with other members in the network. Let's see here. There's if you don't see a specialty here that you'd like to have, just let us know. We can add it. But it's meant to be an engagement tool for the network. We also have CORFAC is governed by committees that lead our initiatives. And those are volunteer-led committees. So we have groups established for every committee in the network as well. So for instance, the Marketing and Branding Committee, which is an area where I'm a liaison to the members who run that, has a dedicated committee here where they can connect. It's got the members listed, the purpose of the committee, and just it's a nice hub for the committee members to have a space that's dedicated for their ongoing work and initiatives. Um, there are some quick links to other areas of the site here that we've talked about, the member directory, the info hub resources, and how to contact headquarters. One additional thing I'd like to mention about the community is it does require a separate profile setup. So, it is a couple of steps. You set your profile up in the info hub. You also have to opt in and set up a basic profile in the community. So that's a second step that gives you access to this area. And lastly, there's a notification center. So everyone who is opted into the community is automatically opted into receiving a daily recap of community activity. And it's an email that is blasted out. I think it's at 6 p.m. Central every day. That will just show a nice recap of activity, and it will prompt you to, hey, I'm interested in that. I'll go in and take a look. So it's a nice download when there's activity happening here, and a way to sort of jog your interest in joining and participating. So,
Jennifer, is there an option to do it not quite as frequently as once a day?
um, I'll have to take a look. I think it's set for just a daily recap, but
Okay.
yeah, we could adjust that internally. If a weekly recap is more effective, we can certainly do that.
I think they can choose to have
Oh,
to opt out of it. I believe that they can change. We made the default daily, but I believe they can go in and change
yeah.
the reminders.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for clarifying. So with that, if anybody has any questions for headquarters, let us know. Otherwise, I'll turn it back over to Jonathan to just kind of wrap us up.
Yeah. And thanks guys for the presentation, and thank you all for hanging around and listening. We know this is a lot, and it's, you know, it's baby steps moving this along, and we hope by the end of this year that all members are engaged in the new system. You will receive a lot of more information, whether it's email, whether it's phone calls, from Diane and Amy about, getting this information put in. The system we dealt with for many years was antiquated, and we think we've built something new that's going to be very exciting, very user friendly. And as if any of you who've implemented new systems, CRMs or whatever within your offices, it takes time to learn and to get up to speed. So anyway, we've got time if people want to ask any more questions, or feel free to send us notes afterwards. This session is being recorded, so we will share that with the CORFAC community after we're done.
Just one final note, Jonathan mentioned, if you guys have questions, feel free to direct them to us. And as he said before, we can do, individual one-on-ones for companies if you have new staff. Even if it's only one or two. I've done many one-on-one trainings with just one or two staff people. If you have new staff people that join, or individual, the individual is great because they have things up at the screen the same time as I do, and we go to areas that they specifically want to talk about. So I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to, I know Compfolio and Build Out can even do tutorials for you. So just let us know if you need more follow-up.
Hearing or seeing no further questions, thanks everybody. Appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Great presentation.
Thanks, Josh. We missed you in New Orleans.
See you in Chicago.
Okay, see you there.
Take care.
Bye, y'all. Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye, Melinda.